So now that we've assigned a bulleted list with a symbol, we're going to try it with a picture this time. So I'm going to go ahead and select my whole list, and I'm going to go back to define a new bullet so that way I can customize my bulleted list. So to do that, we're going to go up to the drop-down menu again and choose Define New Bullet. This time though, instead of choosing symbol, we're going to go ahead and choose picture. When you choose picture, it's going to ask you if you want to do it from a file on your computer, if you want to grab one off of Bing, or if you want to grab one off your OneDrive. And we've talked about this before, but the reason search engine Bing is being used is because Microsoft makes Microsoft Word, and they also own the search engine of Bing. So they want you to be searching for images through Bing. If you want an image that's outside of Bing, or the searches that pop up and you find something online, you can always go find that image, save it to your computer, and grab from a file. And we'll talk about how to insert images from both files and in Bing Images Search when we get to pictures, but for now we're just applying a picture to the bullet. So I'm going to go ahead and search for a bulleted item on here. So I'm going to search for like an icon that I would use, like maybe it would be, I don't know, like an exclamation point icon. So to kind of get people to look at it, right? So I'm going to search for that inside of Bing. And when my search results come up, you'll see that I see a bunch of icons, but then I also have this Creative Commons only, which we've talked about before. And Creative Commons is when you are only looking at images that have non-copyright features. So you can use them, you can manipulate them, you can do whatever you want with them. Whereas with copyright images, you're not supposed to be using them without giving attribution, and you're not supposed to be using them, especially for commercial products, like if you were going to print this and distribute it to a bunch of suppliers and all that kind of stuff. But if you're just using it internally, like usually people don't check what you're doing internally, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. So you can see I have a bunch of icons, but when I uncheck Creative Commons only, more icons will come up and all those kinds of things. But I'm going to check that back actually because I liked the icons that were popping up. And I'm going to actually do like this orange one that has like a nice bevel circle. And when I use that and I insert it, you'll see that it will become the icon for each of those exclamation points. So, or each of those bulleted list items. And I think this is really cool because when you use the word icon now inside of most of your searches, you're getting some really great images that you can utilize for bulleted lists, for, tables, all those kinds of things. It's a nice feature. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And that will apply to the list item. And if I apply a fourth list item, you'll see it's automatic and it comes up. Now, let's say I want the exclamation points to be like super big or super small. Without adjusting the text, I'd like you to pause the video here and see if you can remember how to change the size of the bullet without changing the size of the text for the list items. So pause the video here and see if you can do that. So the quickest way to do it is to physically click on the bullets, and that allows you to change the font of the bullet. You can also go up to the drop-down menu, go to Define New Bullet, and then change the font there, but that's the long way. And then I can go ahead and I can make it bigger using my font features, or make it smaller. So you have those items as well. And don't forget that also you have your spacing up here in the ruler. So I can take it and I can drag it and make it out further. But notice when I click on the bullets, only one of them will drag. So I could actually adjust them individually. Whereas if I hit Control Z to go back, I select all four and then I begin adjusting these, it will allow me to adjust the entire list at one time. So that's kind of those features when you're starting to work really with lists and wanting to control them a lot further. You can do those types of things inside of your list options.